welcome to our first episode. Today we're starting really close to home. My own personal 1964 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Her name is Maud, and before you ask, no, I didn't name her. The original owner actually left a note in the dashboard of this car asking whoever ended up with her to take good care of her. And he also gave her a name. When I bought her, she looked a little bit like this. And now, look at her, she's gorgeous. Then again, I might be a little biased, but you never know. Anyway, that's enough of me flapping my gums out here. Let's get this show on the road.
Obviously, the place to start in a car like this is the engine. This one, 429 cubic inch, or 7.4 liter V8. Cadillac claimed it made 340 horsepower new, so take from that what you will. The torque on this engine, it's just unreal. I mean, you're not going to be winning any drag races with it, but when you need to pull, this car will just get up and pull. You know, a lot of guys will say a car like this pulls like a freight train, but I'd say a freight train pulls like this. This car uses GM's Hydromatic transmission. The transmission gets a bit of a bad rep in this car and any other car really, being the Hydra jerk, because it's a 4-speed gearbox with high and low ranges, so first and second, then third and fourth. But the transition between third and fourth is so hard that it'll throw you forward and back if you're not careful. Personally, I haven't had any problems with the transmission. Yes, it does jerk me around a little bit, but it's really not something that's going to bother you on a day-to-day basis. Nothing in the world floats like a vintage Cadillac. You know, today, Rolls, Bentley, Maybach, Benz, they all spend millions and millions of dollars trying to make sure that you don't feel any of the bumps. Now, Cadillac, they took a really different approach. They decided that since they didn't want to spend that much money trying to get you to not feel the bumps, why not make it so that you just don't care? And that's what this car does. Like, going over the bumps, yeah, you notice them, but the suspension is so soft and these seats are absolutely fantastic. Okay, they are custom, but they're the original pattern and the original stuffing, so one can only assume how comfortable this car was back when it was new. Now, normally at this point, I would transition over to a twisty road and talk about the handling. But given that this car is well over 2 tons, 20 feet long, drum brakes, I'm not going to do that. That said, this car actually handles surprisingly well for a car its age, size, and weight. You know, shortly after we got this car, well, actually about a year after I bought this car, a 1957 Fleetwood ended up in our driveway as well. And driving these two cars could not be more night and day. You know, a lot of people will joke about this car being a boat, but when you're in the 57 Cadillac, you know you're in a boat. The wheel is massive, it just floats like a son of a bitch. There's just no way getting around it. This car, by comparison, I'm loath to say it, but it actually feels more like a sports car. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when I bought this car, it did not look anything like the car you're seeing today. The car was in a barn for 20 years after the original owners started driving with the Braille system. Thankfully, I was able to save this car from the second owner, who was planning to chop this car into a coupe and some custom rod. And honestly, I have never seen another 64 sedan, because these cars just were not kept, they were not valued, they were derbied, and they were destroyed. And occasionally, I'll see a 64 coupe or convertible. There's actually 2 of them, one of each floating around here where I live, but sedans, I've never seen another one. Because people just did stuff like that. They chopped them into coupes, they demolition derbied them, and they're just gone. So I'm really glad that I was able to save this car. When I bought it, it was $4,000, and as you saw earlier, it was pretty rough. Right now, the car actually has 50,600 and change on the odometer, and originally we thought the most logical thing that it was 150, 250, but when I had to go get the dash taken apart to get the gas gauge and the temperature gauge working again, we actually found out that it is in fact 50,600 original miles, because when we looked at the actual barrels on the odometer, we found that the first place, or the 10,000s, had never ticked over to 6, 7, 8, or 9, just based on the amount of fade it had. So this car is actually an original 50,000 mile car. But then again, that actually makes sense because it was in that barn for 20 years. And also you heard that was the Hydra jerk that I was talking about. It revs up, way the hell up, and then it just sort of dies off. But I digress. Well, that brings us to the end of our first episode. Now, if you liked this video, please do like and subscribe to our channel. You can also follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll have the links like right here. We have 2 more segments of this car coming out. We've already filmed our segment called The Downside, which is a segment where we take these cars that we have and we go through all the little things that irritate us or would just be annoying to live with. Now, does that mean we hate these cars? Of course not. It's just, you see all these reviews where they go through all the good stuff, but you never hear any of those little other things that get under your skin. So we're going to be bringing that to you next week. And then following that, we're going to be doing, fingers crossed, a full episode and downside with the 1987 Buick Grand National, which we are very much excited to get to drive. That V6 turbo is an amazing engine, and I've been wanting to drive those cars for a very long time, so we're excited to have that. Following those episodes, so we're talking about 5 weeks from now, we're going to be hopefully bringing you our first special episode, which is going to be featuring a couple of supercars that we get to play with for a little while, so we're very much hoping to bring that to you. I'm not going to tell you which supercars we're featuring, just because I don't want to get your hopes up, because we've had some problems with this one in the past, so we're very much hoping to bring that to you. Until then, like I said, please do like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And even if you didn't, please like, comment, and subscribe, see if we can get better, or just to tell us to shut the hell up. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.